Hi, this is Tracy, and I'm going to explain something that's been going on and hope that you'll understand that I'm not an actress. I don't have a production crew. This is very amateur, but I do have a message to get across. And I am in an undisclosed location somewhere in remote Idaho. And I came here to Idaho because of the clean air, clean water, and clean food. And it is beautiful. And we wanted to come here and do organic farming and organic ranching because we're very much concerned about health and try to do the best we can to protect ourselves and the things that we have from what we've studied to understand are toxins and things that are detrimental to the body. And this is why we came to a place that was remote, that had very little electromagnetic radiation, and unfortunately what we found is that it was a poisoned paradise. What you can see all along the roads is everywhere that Roundup has been sprayed along all the highways in Idaho, including our own yard. We had once a beautiful 1.5 foot tree began to turn rust, just like the tree that you see here on the right, now getting all rust, and eventually it will die. And even though we have signs along the border of our property that say do not spray, we've been told by the people that spray our street that they just ignore it. And this is what is behind our property. The wooded area, forested areas are sectioned off and have these posters that say herbicide applied and not to enter. And they drop this herbicide from the sky, and then they go in and they clear cut the forest. And then on the other sides of us, where the farmers are spraying their fields, the wheat fields, they spray up to 3 different times because we have a short growing season, and they spray to dry or desiccate the wheat so that they can harvest it in time before the rains. So my message is that the farm soil, the farm animals, and the farmers are sick and dying at a higher rate than anywhere else. This is my opinion. And the farmers are the ones that produce our food. So I think that we should pay attention to what's going on. There's other more qualified people that have great videos and movies about this information. Jeff Smith just produced a movie called Secret Ingredient, and he has a website and an organization called the Institute of Responsible Technology. There's also Arden Anderson, who's a DO. He has a website, Farming Secrets. And there's also a medical doctor, Zach Bush, who's produced a movie called Farmers' Footprints. Right now, the farmers in Idaho don't even really understand they're in danger. They're not connecting the dots. And that's why I've called this Save Idaho Farmers from Themselves, because they are the ones that are growing our foods. And I think it's similar to if someone was in your kitchen cooking you a meal and taste the food and get sick, you have to think about, whether you're going to eat that meal or not. So we know that what's in the paper or in the news that Monsanto's lost 2 multi-billion-dollar lawsuits over Roundup causing cancer. But I don't think this is going to really faze Monsanto, even though they've been purchased by Bayer. They have their fingers in so many pots that they will resurface. They have many other herbicides that they're going to launch and sell under different names. The political maneuvers at this point are to create some type of herbicide court, much like the vaccine court is, where the U.S. taxpayers end up paying for the damages that have been inflicted by these corporations, just like with the pharmaceutical companies. Idaho has gag laws. I don't know if this is in other states, but basically you can't take a picture or video on anyone's private property, or you're the one who will be arrested for trespassing. All of the agricultural agencies, such as USDA, Prime Land Cooperative, Idaho Extension Office, and University of Idaho, which is a land grant university, are mandated by the Farm Act to report anyone that is making defamatory remarks about herbicides or pesticides without a clinical peer-reviewed documentation, so that they can shut people down from making what they think is, slanderous remarks. There's a physician at Clearwater Medical Center in Orofino, Idaho, that held a public meeting in the summer of 2018 and claimed that Roundup is so safe that anyone can coat their tongue with it and not be harmed. So this is the kind of information that these small town people are hearing and the farmers are believing. And this, I mentioned that the roadside herbicide spraying signs are being ignored, even though that particular individual has lymphoma, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. The political legislators in Idaho have revolving seats with positions in Monsanto and Simplot. The ex-governor of Idaho used to work for Simplot. That was Butch Otto. Simplot released 3 new recombinant GMO potatoes in the market earlier this year. Since we've moved here, these are some of the symptoms that we started exhibiting. The first was just complete severe full body itching, then a lot of inflammation in the neck and shoulder, and then neuropathy in the fingers, extreme eye pain, any type of blue light, bloating, diarrhea, cramps in the legs, cramps in the arms, and in headaches 3 to 5 times a month. And these are pretty severe migraine headaches that need pharmaceutical medication, which I hate to take. And then my husband as well has had severe leg and hand cramps, strange rash that won't go away behind his knees, and a lot of coughing, wheezing, and sinus drainage. And then our neighbors, everywhere on our complete street, we have, I would say 8 out of 10 of our most immediate neighbors have cancer. 3 individuals on this list have passed away within the last 3 years. And they still will not admit or connect the dots, even if we've brought it to their attention that it's connected to the herbicides. But we know that the soil microbiome is connected to the human microbiome. And what connects us to the earth is these microorganisms in the gut microbiota. And glyphosate is just the active ingredient in Roundup. But Roundup is so much more harmful because of the surfactants in the inerts. Many of us have seen this chart, and this is autism plotted against glyphosate use on genetically engineered corn and soy. The autism data here were obtained from the U.S. Department of Education under the Individuals with Disabilities in Education Act. And this plot is showing data from the USDE from the number of autistic children receiving services. And this is not causative, this is only correlative, but I can tell you from personal experience, I know when I was born, autism was 1 in 10,000. And when my son was born, it was 1 in 1,000. And when my grandson was born, it was 1 in 100. And today it's somewhere in about 1 in 30. So are we going to wait until it's our grandchildren or our great-grandchildren with autism? Are you going to wait until it's your child or your grandchild, until we finally pull together and do something? So we know the picture of the ostrich with his head down in the sand. And we can do that, and many people do. But you have a choice. And you can eat the non-GMO, verified organic, and protect yourself. You can support somebody who is trying to make a difference in the political arena. You can seek help if you have symptoms that you think are connected to herbicides. And I have some websites here for the public, for those that want a speaker to come and educate PTAs and different community organizations, and also a website for practitioners that want to use products that can help people resolve some toxic issues or some microbiome issues that they may be having. So I'm hoping that there will be a time, and I try to imagine that time when we can all set aside our differences and come together to let the earth heal, and in the process, we'll also heal. And this is the end of this presentation, but I hope that it's the beginning of a microbiome revolution. Unfortunately, I have to make a disclaimer just to make sure that this presentation gets in the hands of those who want to make a difference, and not those that just want to target individuals that are trying to make a difference. So I've given you the information, and I hope that you will contact someone to give you more information, or reach out to my husband and I, and we'll do what we can. Because I think we're in a situation now we can't ignore it anymore. Thank you. I wish you all the best.